Good evening. This is James Crook again. Thank you for tuning in to Sex for the Soul. I've done a couple videos tonight about basketball, the Chris Paul trade to the Houston Rockets that shook the whole NBA, that changes the entire game, and then also about the Lakers free agency preview and what I think their plan should be, hopefully, for the franchise in the next year before 2018's draft and free agency. The content of this video will be about the Republican health care bill that is floundering in the Senate. Mitch McConnell, the Republican majority leader, postponed the bill postponed a vote on the bill because he didn't have the support from his caucus. 52 Republicans are in the Senate. He needs 50 of them to vote for the bill. He had over at least 8 Republican senators from both the conservative and moderate wing, people like Rand Paul, Ted Cruz, Mike Lee, Susan Collins, that are just the whole spectrum that don't agree with the bill. And they shouldn't. It's not a good bill. It doesn't help fix healthcare. The fact that they're not doing this with at least reaching out to the Democrats is really embarrassing, and it's part of why our entire government has become so dysfunctional. Is because neither side is willing to work with each other, with the other. The Democrats pushed through their own health care bill, the Obamacare Healthcare Act, or the Care Act in 2009, when Nancy Pelosi famously said, you don't need to read what's in it, just pass it. And that set off a reaction where the Tea Party was then born, and it pushed the Republicans to a far more conservative side. And instead of anyone reaching across and helping one another, we are now steeped in tribal warfare between the two different teams. So unless Mitch McConnell can get 50 votes along with Mike Pence, the vice president, to back his bill, he's not going to be able to pass it. He's not going to be able to he's not going to be able to set the agenda that both Trump and the Republicans especially have been talking about for over 7 years, and that Trump wants a legislative victory desperately. He is flailing, he is being a buffoon, and he doesn't quite understand government, and with the Republicans being unable to send him any bills, this is why we are stuck in a quagmire. The reason why they didn't get support, the conservative side of the Republicans don't think it cuts enough, don't think that it deregulates enough. The moderate side look at the fact that it's cutting heavily into opioid addiction facilities and mental health as a net negative as well. And it doesn't, and everyone agrees that it doesn't really fix the healthcare situation, which is a bad situation. We have billions, hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars worth of unfunded or underfunded Medicare, Medicaid. The social safety net is failing, and we do need to address it. We are going to have to make some really hard decisions. We are going to have to look at ourselves, especially elderly people, and say, how much do we want to take away from the education system? How much do we want to hurt our youth to ensure that we have the best benefits available? It shouldn't be their fault that they're having to do this, but politicians have forced us as a country into a terrible situation where now the healthcare bill currently being proposed is going to apparently throw 22 million people off healthcare, or people will choose not to get healthcare over the next 10 years, which would be, and it has some pretty devastating cuts to Medicare and Medicaid. And all it really does is help cut taxes for the rich. And instead of really dealing with the healthcare issues, fixing it, it's been called Obamacare light. I don't support the bill. I don't support any of these bills because I think that a lot of them are written by the pharmaceutical companies. I think that there's a lack of freedom of competition between insurance companies. We in America should have the ability to have better medicine at a cheaper cost than almost anywhere else across the world. It is ridiculous that we have some of the highest healthcare costs. Yes, we do have some of the best care, but the fact that doctors are being paid bonuses to push different drugs from pharmaceutical companies, it's horrific. This is not a system that has a light fix or a small fix. We need to really address it, and these Republican senators need to reach across the aisle, talk to the Democrats, talk to their counterparts, and come together to create a much stronger bill that prevents the pharmaceutical companies from taking advantage of all of us, that prevents doctors from force feeding us pills that we don't need and dumbing and numbing our society. And it also needs to make sure that that people, especially poor people, you know what? We made a commitment. We've made a promise year after year after year to help them. If us young people don't want to be part of the healthcare system, we shouldn't have to be. That should be our right to choose. There's a lot of things that we can work on together that from all sides of the political spectrum that we can do. But right now, they're not doing it. It is a terrible bill, and I think that really, in conclusion, we as the American people need to stand up and in this moment say, you know what, this is not the right bill. Even if we don't like Obamacare, we don't think the American Care Act works, which I don't, I think it's terrible. But we need to stand up, call your senators, call your representatives, let your voice be heard. And, you know, I think the bill is going to probably fail anyways. But hopefully, if it does fail, the Democrats and the Republicans, Mitch McConnell, he sounded so terrified that he might actually have to work with Chuck Schumer. You know what? That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to work with the Democrats. Even if I disagree with them, even if I think the two-party system is broken, let's hope that they can get this right and get this together. Because right now, it is looking horrific for everybody. So thank you again for checking in, though. I'll have some more videos tomorrow, or probably Friday night. I hope you guys have a great night, and take care. Stay blessed.